everybody has dark and light, good and bad, divine feminine, divine masculine, right, on the inside of them. So why is it that the Bible mainly rebukes women so, right? So there's, a whole lot of talk. It never resonated with me. And, if you read Revelations and whatnot, because a lot of people, they're jumping on this 144,000 bandwagon without really doing any research. And, they may end up looking rather foolish, or, maybe I will for saying this. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. Time will tell. So anyway, so the Bible, basically has these priests and these pastors rebuking women, right? But then you turn around in these news and tabloids or whatever, you turn around and you find out a lot of them are molesting little boys. Why is that? That's the masculine trying to get rid of the feminine, and they're trying to disconnect from the feminine. This is why in the black community, right, they tried to destroy a black household, and they took the head of the family, which is the masculine, and they're trying to, and a lot of black boys unfortunately have grown up in single mother households. Not saying a woman can't raise a man, but like the development stages are very crucial from birth to 8 years old for especially little boys. I mean, for girls too, but for little boys, they need that father in their life. So they spend time trying to split up the father, which destroys a part of that boy's masculinity. He's already emasculated, before he reaches adulthood. And, then they try to, then they grow up and they're, they act like a lot like females, like a lot like ratchet black females, unfortunately. I hate to put it like this, but that's just what it is. It's very low class behavior. Definitely not of royalty. And so they grow up, they act hyper, they try to overcompensate, for not knowing how to even be a man, because they were never really taught. There's things a woman cannot teach a boy about becoming a man and how to be a man, how to function in society, especially as a black man. I mean, it's hard enough. I do realize that it is hard enough to be a man, but on top of this, a black man in this society, when all they try to do is degrade and appropriate our entire culture, our entire existence, and take our essence from us. That's all they're trying to do, is take our essence. So he goes out, and it's like anybody can get it, because the moms will tell their boys, I don't care if it is a girl, you hit her, whatever. A lot of them don't go over the fact that, men have greater bone density, denser muscles, they're just overall more powerful and more damaging physically than a female, right? And then they run around with this, and female, and they handle their emotions and carry themselves like females against other females, and against men, because the whole thing is like they'll big up to a female, but they'll turn around and be real sheepish when it's a man in their face. Like, you got a grown man standing in your face, you turn into a damn cheerleader. They tuck their dick away, basically. Tuck it between their legs, and it's fucking pitiful, versus if they had a father in their life, these fists, those fists are for men only. I mean, they don't even embrace females properly. Like, you need the feminine, right, or the woman in the family to teach him how to treat a female, but also the man teach you how to handle yourself when that female just isn't going to treat you right. But a lot of our black men, they resort to violence because they get caught up in their emotion. Your emotions can make you a violent person. Pain can make you violent, and they're already suffering from being emasculated, from not having a father in the home, and their mother emasculating them more than likely on a regular faces, embarrassing them in public as a child, shaming them, beating on them. Then if they have sisters, they're beating on them and emasculating them. Shit gets old, man. It gets old. It'll make you angry and want to fight somebody all the time. The thing is, it's like, as a man, keep that same energy when you're standing in the face of a man. They'll talk a bunch of shit to a female, but they get in the face of a man and it's like, oh, now you want to calm down, right? Now you want to be sheepish and, why you want to be kind and soft-spoken and shit. And that's ass backwards. But that's what they want. They want the men to be like children again. They want them to be feminine, especially the black men, because you need that masculine and feminine balance, from two different people from birth. And that's what, that's where the disconnect comes in, and it also disconnects one part of us from the divine, which is usually the masculine. It disconnects our masculine from the divine. So the divine masculine, he's on his way back though. So I have noticed a surge, and I fear that a lot of these music artists are going to turn this into a fad, a trend, and that's not what this needs to be. Like, we really need our masculines back. We need our men back. Those beasts, man, those fire-breathing dragons. We need them back. We don't need the Bible to come with it. Like they said, people, if you can't have a conversation or tell somebody what's right and wrong, basically, in life and how you should live life, then without referring to a book written by another man or several other men that has been revised that many times, I don't care how far back you go, so it still has changed many hands of man. And what's to say that, there isn't plenty of manipulation in that? But if you can't, tell a man how to be a man without referring to a book, you probably don't need to be in leadership. And it's not, more than likely not God talking to you if you can't tell somebody right from wrong without picking up a book. What do you need the book for? Maybe you're just a shitty person if you need a book to tell you what's right and wrong. We need more men to be we need our men to be logical again, and, of course, stay connected with his feminine side, his compassionate side, but, not try to because the whole thing is, when you're not in touch with your masculine side, you try to overcompensate with, more of your throat chakra, especially as a male. You're, all that loud talking and stuff, that's your feminine side trying to act masculine. So what happens in the childhood is that the woman has to play both the masculine and feminine role. That's what he looks to his mother as the masculine and the feminine. And that, that's just not going to work. It doesn't work no matter what you say. Yeah, they might turn out good, but they're not turning out to their fullest potential as a man when they have the father stripped out of the home, or however, the father was never there, so on and so forth, and he's stuck with the feminine trying to play the masculine role. She has to issue out the punishment when usually it's the father who has to lay down the law in the house, but now the woman's doing it. So he spends his whole life under the rule of a woman, and if mishandled, majorly, like a lot of, I'm sorry, black women, but a lot of them have, if it's mishandled, that authority is mishandled by the woman, then he's gonna take it out on women, because that's all he knows. That's all he knows. So it's not entirely his fault. Yeah, you do what you want to as an adult, and you are raised as far as you raise your child to the best of your abilities most of the time. But let's face it, in the black community, to a lot of these mothers, the children have become nothing more than a paycheck, a welfare check. I mean, let's be real about this shit. And that's just not the way to go. And this is the product that is being released into society when these young men, these boys and men, become adults. So I understand that it's stressful to be a single parent. I've been there. And the boys need the fathers in their life. Stop separating these boys. And if you're not together, that's not that child's problem. okay? It's not that child's problem. You need that boy's father, and any child, you need both parents in life. It's not the child's problem. And you people make it about them. Like, y'all don't even have to talk. As long as the child has access to both of you, that energy, that connect is still there. But for you to say that the father can't come see his child unless he's damaging the child, and he's an actual danger, or she's an actual danger to the child, who are you to say that the child cannot see the other parent? You are you're dead ass wrong. That's who you are. You're a wrong motherfucker. And your day will come. You will reap the punishment for it, whether it's you see your child go down the wrong path, or you see, you're gonna see it one way or another, and there will be regret before you leave this earth, more than likely. So the whole thing is, like, everybody's in a power struggle, and especially parents, and especially when they go to court and there's custody battles and stuff like that, that's when it gets wild and out of control. You can't resolve, as two adults, you can't resolve what's gonna happen. It's a business agreement at this point. If you are not together, it's no longer a union. It's a union, but it's a business union. The product you created, which is your child, and I ain't using it like this, but maybe some people will understand it better. Your child is what that is your nest egg. That is what you invest in, your time, your money, the both of you. So instead of the both of you putting your energy towards a child, you put your energy towards tearing each other apart and trying to stop, one of them might try to stop the other parent from even making it. And that's too much energy, and that's too much power to let another grown-ass person have of you. I understand your child having power over you, but never too much. But another grown-ass person is just a no-go. Both parents need to be doing all they can to make sure that child is comfortable and safe, and they learn, and they are, a good product to put out into society. Because you don't know who you're raising. Imagine how much potential has been ruined because the child was not allowed to see the other parent, and that parent did nothing wrong. They were not a danger to that child. All they wanted to do was love that child, and you are a bitter motherfucker, a sorry, bitter motherfucker that wanted to keep their parent away from their child. Who are you? Who are you? That child didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask for you two to get together and make it, did not ask for it at all. So now he's stuck in the middle of y'all's bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit, and I can't, there's no excuse unless that parent is an actual danger to that child that should be happening. People just need to grow the fuck up, man. People need to grow up and raise that child and get their focus off the other motherfucker that they're not even with. There will be no future with this person, apart from interacting about that child. You should have nothing. If it's that bad, you just shouldn't have anything to say unless it's about what that child needs. If that child needs you guys to collaborate and interact with each other on something, that's all great. That's great. Do so. And leave it at that. That doesn't have to be a bunch of friendly shit, a bunch of oh, how you doing? Like, no, does it matter unless I'm too sick to take care of my child or whatever is going on? If it doesn't prohibit me from taking care of my child, why are you trying to make this conversation with me? I will let you know. And communication, the throat chakra in the Black community has been it's damn near been severed, because every time we try to speak out about something, every time we try to voice our pain or our trials and tribulations, our issues, here comes Big Brother to cut off that speech, right? Big Brother is always watching. And that is not a damn lie. Any platform we get to try to build our community, to try to build our people, severed. They punch us in the throat, if it's verbally. They punch us in the hand if it's financially, because we're trying to build. It doesn't matter what we try to do. I understand that as black people, but we still have to raise our children. And that, outside influence can frustrate you. And I know it's a lot of pressure just to be Black in general, and that's before children, before going out into the world. I had my first gun pointed a gun pointed in my face, a shotgun pointed in my face for the first time when I was 12 years damn old. So I understand, but it's not an excuse to put out bad products into society because you're mad at somebody who, because they don't want you anymore, because they did this, they did that. That's in the past, and y'all aren't together no more, so that should be a non-fucking factor. That shouldn't even be something on your mind. They did what they did. They did their little pitiful shit. Okay, let them have it. That was all they had for the moment, and that was the energy they were in. Let them stay in that energy, but you do your job for that child regardless. And I just had to get that off my chest. That's been irking me for like all week, honestly. Like, it's not about you. It's really not. Raise your child, man. Get your bread and raise your child. It's that simple. That other person, they're going to try to make things difficult. They're probably going to make you want to quit having anything to do with your own damn child because of them. Don't let that happen. It's not supposed to happen. That person, they will get theirs. Period. They're going to try to make you out, to look like the bad parent or look like this, that, and the third in front of other people, But the thing is people are going to see them for who they really are when you come around. Your focus isn't on them. Your focus is on the child, and they come running their little Stitch looking ass outside or whatever, and following behind you. They're gonna see what the real is, whether they admit it or not. They're gonna see, and either way, does it matter if they see or not? All that matters is that your child sees. You don't need to bash the other parent. And for the love of God, stop doing this shit, bashing the other parent to your child. If you don't have anything nice to say, do what they say. Don't say anything at all, especially when it comes to that, because the child will see for themselves and make their own judgment on who the relationship they're going to have with their parent based off of how they treated them, not how they treated you. Keep your mouth shut about the other parent, especially when it's some negative shit. Just have nothing to say. And that parent, they'll either expose themselves, or that child will see their relationship with their parent is just that's their relationship with their parent. You have to let that child develop their own mental faculties about the situation. If they ask, of course, be honest, tell them the truth, but don't go into a rant and try to bash the other parent and try to paint a picture in your child's mind about somebody you laid down with. Just don't do it. If they make a mistake, if their parent makes a stupid mistake and you just so happen to catch it, if it makes you mad, or if it's something that your child can learn from, make it into a lesson. Don't bash the parent. Just say, what he did or what she did, blah, blah, or like, this is why you don't, this, that, and the third. There's nothing wrong with that. That's constructive criticism. As long as it's constructive criticism, it's not, that was some stupid shit that he just did or she just did. And, tell them that, this is not what you do, and this is why. Don't sit there and just bash the other parent, and just because you got an opportunity to, because they faltered in front of your face. Okay, and everybody falters, and people falter in front of people who matter and people who don't matter. And so, the whole thing is like, there's a child involved, and make it a lesson. Make it constructive criticism. Your child is watching, and people act like children are so stupid, but they're so much smarter than anybody realizes, and a lot of people are willing to admit. So, yeah, just try not to be a shitty parent, try your best to instill morals and whatever good that you can into that child, because that's what you're putting out into the world. That's what you're building. That's the product you're building to put out to society, and you never know, that product could change the world, but that product could also become another statistic of a business that didn't make it. And with that, I leave you. Drink your water, educate yourself, tell people what your time is worth, what you're worth, and eat roots, and most importantly, mind your business.